Hi, everybody. Just finished book 3 of the Hunger Games trilogy, The Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. And Suzanne Collins really shifts the storytelling quite a bit, in my opinion. Obviously, the first 2 books were in arena settings, and Katniss, her main goal was to survive. The first book, she herself wanted to survive, and she got Peeta out. The second book, she wanted Peeta to survive, and yet she gets out. Okay, it's her against everybody else, it seems like. Of course, we know that District 13 and President Coin, she wants to get Katniss out of the arena for the second time, because she really is going to be the face of the rebellion. Katniss Everdeen doesn't know that yet, because we have this beautiful story written in first person, and Katniss is oblivious to that. But we know later in this book, The Mockingjay, that is what has happened. There was a plan to get Katniss out from the start, and they also wanted to get Peeta out if they could, but the whole plan really was to make sure Katniss survived. Because, she is the girl on fire. She's the spark that tipped the rebellion and got it started. There was this long stalemate between District 13 and District 1. District 13 has a nuclear arms facility, which they used as a threat against District 1. So District 1, President Snow, he was forced to create this treaty, if you will, with District 13, because he couldn't start a war with them, because they would just launch their nukes and destroy the capital. So when Katniss Everdeen, when Rue dies, when she had that little ceremony, her burial ceremony, that, in my opinion, really tipped all the other districts against the capital, and they started to side more so with District 13. Interestingly enough, there's a lot of debate on what's right in war. Can you fight fire with fire, so to speak? Should you blow up an entire mountain? Should you invade it and try and keep as many people alive as you can? Because eventually you want those people to be your citizens. Gale, who is becoming more and more the warfare leader for District 13, he's like, what, just bury them all. They sided with the capital. They are our enemies. We want to win this thing, so let's just do it. Let's just get rid of all of them. Which I liked that honesty in his character. His main goal, his main objective was to kill President Snow and to exact revenge on the people that, in his mind, enslaved him, his family, and caused a lot of pain and death. So he is a straightforward, truthful guy, and he just wants to end the war. So I really liked that exploration of what's right in war within this book. Also, I think you're going to find there's a lot of discussion that can be had about leveraging power and how to do that. Katniss Everdeen is the Mockingjay, but it's almost like it's an empty role, because they want her just to shoot commercials, not actually go into combat, and not have any true power to decide the strategies used in the war. Turns out, though, that she does influence some of the decisions in the meetings, because she uses her voice to speak up. She uses the power of persuasion, not the power of like a president who can just give orders and armies follow it. Okay, so we see that there's a minor, a character that has a lot of influence, but not a lot of direct control over the situation. There's other instances too, like Peeta. He's mentally distraught, and he really tries to influence what happens as well, and that's just the way that he tries to leverage power. So I liked that. I liked what Suzanne Collins did here. She's a clean writer. I liked the first person perspective where we don't know everything. We have a limited view through Katniss's eyes. She's emotional. She's flawed as a character. She's angry. She's distrustful of people, and that comes out very strongly in book 3. However, the parts that I didn't necessarily like, which you may or may not have, was the ending. I felt that when Katniss moved back home to her district and Peeta was there as well, it was kind of like a relationship out of convenience. I felt like that ending, Suzanne Collins was really trying to wrap everything in a nice, neat bow for us as a reader, so we can have a happy ending where Peeta's better, Katniss is healed, and they have some kids, and all is well with the world. But that was a little bit on the fake side in my mind. Wasn't so happy that Prim died, but at the same time, maybe that's what needed to happen for Katniss to actually pull the trigger and kill President Coin. Because once she realized that Coin was just another President Snow, her ethical standards, her ethical morals would not allow her to leave President Coin within power. Good book. It moves quickly. It's straightforward. The prose are rather simple, but the meaning is deep. I liked the use of poetry. The Hanging Tree, I think, is the song that Katniss sings in one of the commercials. She uses that really to connect with her dad. She uses that to really try and sort out her emotions. And that's the way poetry should be in life. We should use poetry as a way to interpret our own feelings and to connect with others around us. Another thing to look at in the book is the use of classic romanticism. And by that I mean the times when Katniss wants to retreat to the woods to be by herself, to find her balance, to find her center. That's the source of her inner strength, is when she's out hunting in the woods alone. Sometimes with Gale, but her community is very small when she decides to go out into the woods. She maybe takes one other person with her. That's a very romantic idea that you find in classic literature. Very different than realism, where Katniss is forced to go into society, to make decisions, to be her own person, to fight the good fight, if as you will, and really be a member of the society in which she's at. And that's the pull. Do you want to retreat and be in the woods by yourself where you have your inner peace, or are you a person who's energized? You go into your community, you try and make it a better place, but you're at risk of being judged by other people around you. It's the classic, pulling. If you do one thing, you can't be the other. If you're in one place, you can't be, where you want to be. Very cool. I think Suzanne Collins is a gifted writer. I can't wait for her to bring out more stuff. All right, hope this helps. Have a great day. Tell me what your thoughts about Prim dying, the relationship with Peeta, the relationship with Gale, any use of symbolism like the white rose on the desk when she decides, if she's going to vote for the Capitol kid to be put into the arena or not. Pretty deep book. I didn't like it as much as the first two, but still very good. Very good book.